Natalia, Chicago, and welcome to Delicious Reactions with Marianne and my beautiful nieces.
Hi, I'm Gianna, and I like theater and dancing.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I like riding horses.
And today we're going to do a no-bake cinna-mini roll recipe. So before we get started, we've already washed our hands. We always want to make sure that we have clean hands before we cook anything or make any type of meal. So take a second to wash your hands, and then we will get all of the supplies together for the cinna-mini rolls. So some of the ingredients today, we're going to make sure that we have measuring spoons handy. We need a 1 teaspoon, tablespoon. We're also going to need some knives, an electric mixer. If you don't have an electric mixer, that's okay. You could always use a fork to mash up the butter as well, and a rolling pin. Again, if you don't have a rolling pin, a cylinder tumbler, like a plastic tumbler, will work just as well. All right, you guys ready?
Sure.
All right. And make sure, again, of course, this is a fun recipe to do at home with, your brothers, sisters, parents, any adult supervision, because we're going to be using some knives. Some of the ingredients we need today are 3 slices of white bread. We need some cinnamon sugar. We need milk. We also need butter. And that's it. Let's get started. Okay. So first step is to get the 3 tablespoons of butter. The good news is on the butter, if you do have it, you can use an actual stick of butter. You could also use tub butter. If you do use the tub butter, just take a tablespoon and you can scoop out 3 tablespoons of the butter. With the stick butter, I don't know which one of you guys wants to, they do the measurements for us. So with that said, you can just cut 3 tablespoons and you can put it in the bowl. And that's where we're gonna mix it. Do you wanna cut the 3 here? Use the measurements on the butter thing, so you...
3?
Yep, 3 tablespoons.
Be careful when you're using the knife.
Oh, you could just throw it in there.
Oh, all of it or just...
No, yeah, just the 3. There you go. And your hands are clean, so you're good. And again, at this point, the butter is a little bit room temperature. So once again, we're gonna mix it with the mixer. But if you have a fork and you don't have a mixer, you can just smash it together. The objective here is we're gonna do the cinnamon sugar butter so we can spread it on the bread and make the cinna-mini rolls. Here's the cinnamon sugar, Natalie. And if you can, measure out 3 tablespoons of that. Yep, and you can just put it in the bowl.
Alright.
And just make sure always the tablespoon isn't heaping, it's level. Because if we do too much, then it's gonna be a little bit too much on the recipe. So that's 1. Good job. 2. And perfect. 3. And then another quick tip on the measurements. Just again, in the event that you guys didn't have a full tablespoon measurement, another quick math tip would be if you use a teaspoon and you actually take 3 teaspoons, it goes right into being a tablespoon. So we would need 6 teaspoons to do into this measurement, into this recipe. So just, a little tip of the day, if you will. Now, Natalie, you want to mix it? G, which one?
I'll do it.
Okay, so we're gonna cream or mix the sugar with the butter so we can get it into a spreadable consistency. So go for it. And again, if you don't have a mixer, just do it with a fork. Something else, again, to keep in mind, another tip is the butter, since we're not doing a heat type of baking recipe, the butter will melt naturally if you add the heat by the movement. So the movement of either the blender or a fork is gonna melt the butter naturally. So that's just, again, another little tip since we're not using any heat. Go for it. You can go start slow and then speed it up a little bit. Make sure you get all of it in there. one here, it's gonna be a little crumbly, but the thought of it is as soon as we actually, once we do the spreading of it, it'll actually melt some more. So if it looks like this, you've done good. Again, with a fork is perfect. So we'll set this aside, and now we're going to take our 3 slices of white bread. With the slices of white bread, keep in mind, again, we want to make sure the crusts are removed. I know many of my girls here, they don't like crust, so I'm sure with you guys there, you may not like crust, but we're going to take the 3 slices of white bread and we're going to roll them. That's the next step, is to roll it. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to roll it until it's very flat, and we'll do that on each of them, and then we'll go into the next step.
You just go.
Yeah, just really flat. It's okay. And if you could get a little flatter,
But you don't want it to rip.
that's actually perfect. And then you can just set it off to the side, and then if Natalie wants to do one, and
Hey.
here you go.
Alright.
And again, as she's rolling that out, keep in mind, if you guys don't have a rolling pin, not a problem. You can do it with the tumbler as well. Anything plastic or round, you can just, with the same type of movement, get it as flat as you possibly can, and then we'll spread it. You can just put it off to the side. Yeah, you don't want to stack it just in case they end up sticking together. And then you can do the last one. You're doing good.
Thank you.
And this is our first time doing this together, so we are all in it together, guys. Wonderful. Okay, good job, guys. So the next step then, of course, would be is to spread the butter on it with the cinnamon sugar mixture that we did. And again, it's really, there's no specific measurement. If you don't like cinnamon too much, you might want to choose to do less. If you enjoy cinnamon sugar, if you enjoy butter, then you might want to do more. Just enough to really coat the slice of bread that we just rolled out. So just take the mixture, and at that point, again, it should be very soft because we naturally softened it without heat. And if you look, that's what it should look like. And then, G, you want to do it? And then Natalie can do the other one.
Just all over it.
Yep, so you can, I would just leave it flat, so this way then you get a good covering of it all. We could probably then here, Natalie can start on another one too.
Grab another.
Yeah, you can grab another knife. G, it's okay here, you know what? G's right in front of the actual.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, G. If you want to put, do you
Yeah, I
know?
might need some.
Yeah, you want to put a little more on there? Okay.
Hey, you know what they say, the more the merrier.
I don't know about you guys, but we like butter here, so. Got it?
Yup.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
I didn't know if I should put it on the ends or not.
I mean, you could. It really, you could put it all the way to the edge, whichever one you guys really prefer.
Alright.
Okay, and then you can do the same, Natalina.
Yo, chill out there with the butter.
I'm trying not to rip the bread because I
No,
know
you're
every time I
fine.
make a sandwich,
You guys are
it
doing
has
great.
a big hole through it.
You're doing great. And again, the butter should be very spreadable at this point, and it's okay if it actually ends up being a little bit chunky, if you will, in the middle, because once we roll it out, everything will eventually even out as we're rolling it, and that's going to be the next step. You're doing good. Okay, a little bit right there, and I think we
bit
can go
more.
into the third one.
Tiny bit. Okay then.
Yeah, I don't think that was tiny.
You're fine. There you go.
It's like a big pile of like.
Well, and when you end up eating that one, you're gonna love it, I bet. We'll give that one to Gianna.
I think we're good.
I think I'm okay with the one I did.
Okay, well here, Nana will do this one. Okay, let's just smooth it over.
You're so fast at doing it.
Yeah, you know, it is my recipe, G.
Fair point.
Okay, and so now that they've all been spread into this delicious cinnamon butter, we'll each take one and we're gonna roll it.
Oh.
Very thinly roll it, so you can just start at one end and you just start rolling. And you're gonna have one bread roll, and it should kind of look like that.
Ooh. Like a burrito kind of.
It is, it's kind of like a little taquito. And then,
talkie.
at that point, and I'll just kind of say, just make sure we're gonna cut them into 1-inch pieces. And you should probably, I mean, again, we don't have to be perfect here in cutting or measuring. I would say just as long as it comes out to 4 pieces per slice is really the objective. You know, however you cut it, there is no wrong or right way. Beautiful.
You're getting a little aggressive with it over here.
I see that.
It's okay. Natalie's gonna look like hers is kind of tearing apart there, but we'll fix it with our frosting that we're gonna make next. So now we'll place them all here on a plate for us, where we're gonna pour the frosting. We're gonna do the frosting next, and again, as you see, they're all sorts of shapes and sizes. There's really no measurement. I mean, we're gonna end up eating them, so. Okay, so far, here's our little cinna-mini rolls. Next, we're gonna do the actual, the drizzling of the powdered sugar. So we're gonna need 3 tablespoons, if one of you wants to measure the tablespoons again.
Do you want to?
Sure.
Okay, we need 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and we're just gonna make a drizzle glaze, if you will. And you can put it in that one, G, please.
Make sure it's not compacted when you do the scoops. 3?
Yep, 3. Awesome. And then we will, in order to do that, then we're gonna need over here just about a 1/4 teaspoon of milk or water, whichever. Again, it's about mixing the powdered sugar in here, Natalie, honey. You can do that. We start with a 1/4 teaspoon, and then G, while she's doing that, if maybe you want to stir it, it might need a little more. If it doesn't get, it might need a whole lot more, Gianna.
It does.
A lot?
Yeah, you can just keep on scooping the actual in there until we get it into a drizzle. Yeah, and G, keep on mixing. The water with the powdered sugar or the milk with the powdered sugar is just going to form a natural glaze, and then we're going to drizzle it over the cinna-mini rolls and then sprinkle a little cinnamon sugar, and then we are going to enjoy them. Ready? Do you think it's a good consistency? Oh, good job. Do you want it a little more? I think maybe just a little more. Yeah. So we probably, instead of the 1/4, we probably use we probably use almost a good teaspoon or 2. So it really depends on the consistency, and I would say that that's the perfect consistency, because again, you could dip them in here, you can drizzle, which we're gonna drizzle, and the drizzling technique is just as easy as lifting the spoon and just drizzling over the cinnamon rolls. And again, it's as much as you want or don't want. Of course, these girls like sugar, so we'll drizzle it away. And then the last step of this is to take a teaspoon, the teaspoon that we set aside earlier of the cinnamon and sugar, and we just kind of shake it over. And you might use a whole, you might not.
Wow.
And there you go, cinna-mini rolls. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.